Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 3 of me trying to play Animal Crossing like it was intended, on my forever island. I have some big ambitions for today. Firstly, I want to get Nook's cranny built, and secondly, I want to move Blathers out of his tent. As much as it pains me, I have decided that I want to try and complete my museum on this island, so he needs a little bit of an upgrade. But before we get to those big plans, if you watched the last episode, you will know that Gulliver very rudely or kindly, I haven't quite made my mind up, washed up on these shores and I safely got him back on his boat. So now it's time to see what he gave me. A South Pole. It could definitely have been worse. I'm just going to pop all of the stuff that I ordered over here in my little pile of trash. It's not all trash, but it's soon turning out to be a bit of a higgledy-piggledy mess. I should be kind of grateful for this mess because it has earned me 300 Nook miles. I will never say no to Nook miles. It was soon time to get back to the grind of trying to get hold of some iron because I'm trying to get the 30 iron to build the shop, which is no mean feat. If you have recently played Animal Crossing from the very beginning, you know how much of a grind this is, and I really like it and I hate it at the same time because every time I hit that rock, I'm just urging for it to be a bit of iron, and the rocks on my island today weren't doing all that good. But when it came to my final rock of the day, I did get my first gold nugget, which is something to celebrate, and of course that gave me a DIY idea. Whilst out and about, I also spotted the gold shiny spot, which I of course dug up and then replanted with 10,000 bells. One day I am going to see these returns, one day. I also got very excited because I saw a balloon floating along. Maybe I got a little bit too excited because I didn't pay attention to where it could drop, and disaster struck. It went straight into the river. I was so disappointed. However, I did manage to get a 2-for-1 on the Nook Miles tickets because not only did I have it as a daily Nook Mile, but this was also the first time that I had lost a balloon to the water. So kind of win-win. Because I was getting frustrated with the iron situation, I decided to go to the Nook Miles machine and buy a Nook Miles ticket. Before you start shouting at the screen, "But Emma, you'll get one for free." I know, but I was so worried about not getting enough iron that I was like, I'm never going to do this in one trip. So I decided to go and buy one so I had a backup one, and then off we went. We went on a little adventure to a random island. I was given a very warm welcome by Wilbur on the island, and of course he reminded me to go catch some bees and chop some trees, which is exactly what I did, and also collect some iron, of course. It was like an episode of Supermarket Sweep on this island. I collected all of the stone that I could. I still don't have a ladder, so I couldn't go and collect the one on the cliff. How frustrating. I collected some coconuts to plant, so hopefully I can make some money off of them. Also collected some wood. I shook a tree. I did everything that you could possibly do. And I even vaulted over and spoke to Al, who is definitely not coming in my moving queue. No thank you. There is no room for gorillas on my forever island. I also did get a DIY bottle from this island, so that was nice as well. Something extra to add to my crafting weaponry, if you will. And before I knew it, it was time to leave. However, we had only managed to collect 28 iron, so I think I'm going to have to time travel forward a day. Before time traveling a day forward, I was smart. I was quite proud of myself for this. I went and planted a whole bunch of coconuts so that they are a day ahead and we're one step closer to having fresh coconut juice. Whilst I was doing this, I did find a lot of manila clams. I feel like this was a lot for such a small area. Very strange. I also did a quick sweep around the island and found my DIY bottle for the day, although I could have definitely left this one behind. I don't think I've ever crafted this item, and I don't ever plan on crafting the traditional straw coat, but we'll take it anyway. The next morning, Tom gave us a fabulous morning announcement. Well, not really. I'm just trying to egg it up to make it sound good, but it was boring. I did my daily check for my mailbox. By my daily check, I mean daily hit of the mailbox. It seems to be a recurring theme, but I did have a garden gnome that I had forgot that I had ordered, so that was a nice surprise. And guess where that went? That went to join my other trash on the trash pile, which is going to get us to 3 stars. You watch. I was also a good resident rep and went and checked on my residents. Flip even complimented my terry nightgown. I'm starting to really like him. I also found another DIY bottle on the beach. I mean, this time travel malarkey, I can see why we did it, because 3 recipes I've collected this video, which is pretty impressive. Anyway, this one was a wooden chair, which would definitely come in handy. I love that chair. I was having so much fun chatting to my villagers, getting my DIY bottle, planting my money tree, that I almost forgot the whole reason why I time traveled forward today, and that was of course to get the iron. So I went ahead, destroyed some more rocks, and then it was time to enter the tent. After all of my hard work, grinding away, hitting those rocks, I was so happy to finally speak to Timmy and donate those 30 iron nuggets to him. In return, he of course gave me the blueprint for the shop. I was so excited to try and find a space, but honestly, I have no idea where I'm going to put this. I ran around my island for what felt like 5 minutes, but honestly, I decided that the main area where my resident services is, it just wasn't going to work. There's not enough space, so I hopped over the river and put it right here. This looked like a cute little spot to put it for now anyway. With the shop placed, I decided to turn my attention to Blathers and getting the museum upgraded from the tent to the main building. I really want to get Brewster. I feel like it's been forever since I went through that journey, so I'm very excited for that. Luckily, because of my previous donations in previous episodes, I only had 2 to hand in, and thankfully I had 2 fossils sat there waiting to be assessed, so I gave them in very promptly, and there we have it. We are all ready for the upgrade. I'm not really sure why it takes a day to upgrade it, but I'm so excited to enter into the museum and have a look around and make some more donations and see red. I'm really excited for this part of the game, even though I know fully completing this museum is going to be a lot of hard work, and it's definitely going to test me, that's for sure. The next day, I definitely paid close attention to Tom Nook's announcement because he had some news about the big changes that were happening on this island. Firstly, he told me about the museum and that it's closed for the day, and then he also told me about the shop being open for the first time, which is very, very exciting. Whilst he was doing the announcement, he also got a phone call, which I thought was pretty rude, but you know, he's an important guy apparently, so we have to pay attention still. And it does sound like we're on our way to getting our first 3 villages, which is also very exciting, but this is going to be interesting with a lack of Nook miles, that's for sure. Once the broadcast was done, the first thing that I did was head over to the museum and actually check that it was under construction. After all these years of like, I don't know, false promises, kind of, maybe. I just don't really trust Tom, so I just thought I'd double check. But yes, the museum is definitely under construction. On my way to check out my newly acquired shop, I also bumped into Flip, who taught me about reactions. Finally, I no longer just have to stare soullessly into the camera. We can have some reactions. And of course, the first one is Joy, which kind of is my favorite. Let me know what your favorite reaction is in the comments. And there she was in all of her glory, Nook's cranny, looking fabulous. I definitely prefer this version of Nook's cranny. Just like the 10 is just so much cuter. I don't know what it is. But anyway, let's take a look inside and see what Timmy and Tommy have for sale for me. When I entered the shop, there was another person there that I did not expect to see. Honestly, I kind of forgot that Mabel was here at this point. But yes, we were introduced to Mabel for the first time, and they were having a lovely conversation, and I was just eavesdropping like the nosy Parker that I am. And they were talking about needing a clothing supplier, which is very exciting. Hopefully, we'll start seeing Mabel turning up a bit more on our resident services plaza area, and we can buy some cute clothes, because this terry nightcloth, whatever it is, I don't even know what it is really, needs to change. And it needs to change quickly. So once Mabel had made her exit, I was able to get to the fun part, and that is, of course, shopping. However, I wasn't really overly impressed with the goods on sale today, thanks Timmy and Tommy. I thought that there should be something nice there at least. I'm not really a red fan, so having the red pet food bowl and the red velvet stool just really wasn't speaking to me. And what am I going to do with the bathroom scales? Apart from maybe just chuck it down somewhere to help us get to 3 stars. I shouldn't be moaning too much, it's only day 1. But hopefully if I have a look in the back cabinet, there might be something a little bit better in there for me. Can I just say, I'm still very disappointed that we never actually got a copy of this item as a furniture item. Very sad about that. Anyway, I decided I had better buy some pumpkin starts because October doesn't last forever and pumpkins should be a good way to make some money, pay off that debt, you know. So we bought 10 of them. I also had to scroll down, look at some of the flowers, and they had one of my favorite flowers, the white hyacinth, so I bought 10 of them as well. So we're going to get them planted. And I also bought the Test Your DIY recipe kit because obviously we need more DIYs to craft items so that we can get to 3 stars. So I've done that as well. So basically I'm poor. This shop is gonna bankrupt me. That is what's gonna happen. But as long as we have nice things, it's fine, right? So after my little mini shopping spree, I decided to go and display my lovely new items. This is trash pile number 2. It is also growing very quickly. We have a nice array of items, including a cute vanity stand, 2 buckets, and now we have some pet food and digital scales. What's not to love? It's looking fabulous. I also remembered to go ahead and plant my pumpkins. I just found a random little corner that was pretty empty on this island, so I went ahead and planted them. I also planted my white hyacinths ready for when Isabel arrives and starts making her Judgy McJudgesons of the island. I thought that with all this kind of progress with Blathers and Timmy and Tommy, I thought I'd been neglecting Tom Nook a little bit, so I popped into the tent and spoke to him. He was on the phone at the time and it looked like he was very deep in conversation, but then apparently I startled him and he seems very excited for these getaway packages and he's got 3 interested parties, which is kind of great news. I'm very excited for that. And then he told me the bad news. See, this is why I don't have trust in Tom Nook. He's made some false promises to some people about having fully furnished houses, which to me, have you seen the state of this island? No one's got a fully furnished house. But no fear, I'm here to save the day. He said just come and talk to me when you're ready, but I did that straight away because obviously I'm not here to wait. I need to help him out. We need to make progress here. So let's not dilly-daddle. Let's get to it. And this is where Tom told me about crafting a bridge. Luckily, I already had some resources on me, so I was able to craft this straight away. Let's go place it down. So I decided that the best place to put the bridge would be over to join my mainland over to where Nook's cranny is, just for ease of access, because using your vaulting pole definitely gets old very, very quickly. So I'm very excited to have my first bridge here. I'm not sure if the log bridges are the bridges that are really my favorite, but we'll see. At least we have a bridge for now. We can always demolish it later. So I think this is probably the best place to wrap this episode up. Next time, we will be looking at getting our first 3 villagers, which is going to be very, very exciting. So you'll have to come back next week to see who I chose, who I managed to take. Did I have like no Nook miles to do this, or did I actually manage to do a proper hunt? We'll have to wait and see. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.